and welcome to Game Day from the UK, another live pre-game streaming show brought to you by the Miami Heat UK. We are a show with a difference today because, as you can see, we are live in the 3:05, guys. What a privilege to be here. I'm not going to be out here long. It is noisy, it is windy. There's a lot of construction going on in downtown Miami at the moment. I wanted to do this actually down at the arena, but I brought the UK weather with me. I think it's cloudy, it's windy, it's a bit drizzly. So I just wanted to show you the incredible views of downtown Miami. We are here. It is an absolute privilege to be streaming from here. But I'm going to go back inside to the quiet sanctuary of my room where I will bring in my cast. So just bear with me a second, guys. So you don't get this sort of content anywhere else, do you? There we go, a bit quieter. Let's just go to my room and I'll bring in the guys. Here we are, season opener tonight. Absolutely buzzing for it. We're here for the first 3 games. And there we go, back in the room. Let's bring in the cast. Let's say hello to Ollie Rahimi, Sam Post, James Stone. Guys, so excited to be back for another year of Game Day from the UK. Ollie Rahimi, how are you, sir? I believe you're away as well in Barcelona. Have you got better weather than Miami?
Yes, definitely. I think so. It's been, I'm in Barcelona. It's amazing. The weather's amazing. That is the Sagrada Familia just behind me there. Having a good time and just buzzing that Miami Heat basketball is back, buzzing that we're back. It's been a while and just excited. New season, let's
absolutely. Go. Look at us with just like iconic landmarks just in our backgrounds. It's incredible. Exactly. You don't get this anywhere else. Sam Post, how are you, sir?
Oh, I'm pretty good, thank you. Yeah, looking forward to tonight, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Cannot wait for tonight. The start of a very exciting new season. We're going to get right into it. James Stone, your first pre-game live streaming show with us. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thanks. I've sadly only got the kitchen back door behind me, but yours 2 views looks a lot better than mine.
Mate, you're here. That's all that matters to us. You are here. It's great to have you back. If you're watching on the Twitter stream, hello. Thank you for joining us. If you want to actually get involved in the comments, then please jump over to YouTube, Miami Heat UK TV, and you can get involved in some of the comments, like my brother here. Let's go. And, of course, Grant Brown. The band is back together. Of course, Grant is with us. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. If you want to come and speak about anything, just come and get involved. Guys, we're back. We're back. It's brilliant to be here. Loads to get into, but let's start, Ollie, first of all. Before we get on to the Bulls matchup tonight, let's just talk a little bit about pre-season, because the Heat started with finished pre-season with a 4-1 record, which was good, but probably most noticeable through that I felt, the emergence of 2 not necessarily rotation players, but have now given the Heat something to think about, and that's, of course, Nikola Jokic and Jamal Cain. Are these guys going to be now part of our rotation because they looked good in pre-season?
They did, yeah. And I am firmly in the Jovic Stan gang. I think this kid is going to be amazing. I love his arc at the moment. I think he's going to be really exceptional. And I'm really excited for this season because I think that he will force his way into the rotation. And I think, when he was drafted, 27th overall in the first round, which is pretty low. I think most contending teams, you're not going to expect much production or minutes from a 27th pick, but he has played his way into Spo's thinking, I think. And his, Spo putting him in with the starters in some of those preseason games and seeing how smoothly and effortlessly he transitioned into that was really encouraging. And then also you had Jimmy and Bam talking about how well he fitted with those guys. So I'm really excited to see that. And I'm hopeful, and I'm pretty sure that he will get some minutes tonight. Jamal Cain as well, another guy that Miami just found in the rough. They do it so often, and they do it so well. We've seen it with Duncan Robinson, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent. The list is endless, and it looks like Jamal Cain is another one. So I think he might be slightly further down the pecking order, but he's obviously got a bit of rapport with Jimmy Butler already. They have a little bit of back and forth in training and stuff, so that's really good to see. And he just looks like a bundle of energy and athleticism and stuff. So excited to see him as well. But I think there'll be more minutes for Jovic than there will be for Jamal Cain. But yeah, just excited.
Yeah, again, it's just another tip of the hat to the Miami Heat coaching and development system, because they just pluck these guys through late first-round picks, lottery picks, really, and they turn them into good starting NBA rotational players. And I know it's early doors and we've got to be wary of that, But Jamal Cain looks like he's got a bit of everything. So I'm excited for him. And Nikola Jovic, who, I wasn't saying I was writing him off, but I wrote an article for Sky Sports just recently, and they said that I was saying in that article, which was only a month ago, that Jovic just didn't even really look like he was going to get many chances this year because he looked out of place, out of depth, even in Summer League. And it just goes to show that a bit of work, a bit of gyms, where he's got great basketball IQ. He can be an important player for the Heat this year. So, I'm excited to see his progression. Sam, let's just get on to tonight. No Victor Oladipo tonight. His listed day today, but it's that damn knee again. And I'm going to see what I can try and find out tonight, see if there's any bit more information on it. But is this a concern? No Oladipo tonight already?
I think it's not ideal. I mean, I think one of the biggest positives going into this season is that we assumed we'd have a healthy Oladipo coming off the bench, maybe starting at some point in the season. What he does bring, and in pre-season he didn't look amazing, but defensively he's great. His playmaking's amazing. I mean, it's not great to have someone that we traded for, we invested a lot in. Maybe a reason we didn't make any moves on the off-season is we thought we would have him coming back. It's not great to have him sitting out. If this is a chronic problem, we might visit and try and get another backcourt player. But ideally, we'd have him in our rotation. I like Jamal Cain. He's going to be great. He's going to have some good minutes in the season. I think we really do need him consistently getting minutes to really have a better chance of competing.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing. And look, we could be overblowing it. It could literally be just a little bit of soreness, a bit of pain. And as of next game, he's back and he's looking fine, but not ideal start. And also a little bit concerning now with the bench role. You would have expected maybe Vic to be first off the bench. He gives you that two-way punch defensively and offensively. So he is going to be a miss tonight. But James, the Bulls have their own problems. No Zach LaVine, no Lonzo Ball, which we already knew. So they are short-handed tonight. But opening night can always throw up some uncertainty, can't it? It always throws up the odd strange fixture. And even though the Heat will go into this as quite strong favourites, is there anything to be concerned about that you think, well, look, the guys might even go out there and look at the Bulls might even go out there and think, look, pressure's off of us tonight. We're not expected to win. And that can cause some issues.
Yeah, I think there is an element of that. Levine's a big loss for them. By far their best player. Caruso will step in for Ball, who's an incredibly underrated player in the league, can cause a lot of problems for teams defensively. So the Bulls started really well last season. You know, they led the league for the division for quite a while, literally until they lost Ball. And that seemed to be the period where they just lost a bit of control in the backcourt and they went downhill. But they've still got DeRozan, who can punish any team. So I think we have to still be favourites, but it's opening night, so it could go either way in all honesty, but I'm still going for a Heat win.
Yeah, and never underestimate the fact that Dan Healy is in the building, and Dan Healy has a 2-6 record when watching the Heat, but we'll sweep past that, so that might
the
come
jinx.
Absolutely. Ollie, Caleb Martin started the four, as we all predicted. Looking good in the four. The Heat's main issue, I believe, last season, widely reported that the offense is probably what let us down. The fact that we've got no PJ Tucker, big miss for us, but the fact that Caleb is going to go in and definitely show a much more offensive threat than what PJ did. Quite a big thing, I think, and something not to be understated. Do you think Caleb's going to seize this opportunity this year to be a starter, and ultimately, do you think it'll be a success?
I do. Yeah, I think first of all, I was really sad when PJ left because, as you said, he was really good for us. But I think he has lost more in losing us than we have lost him, if that makes sense. I think Caleb fits that role really well because he does have that athleticism. He's got the length. He's got switchability. He's obviously a little bit quicker than PJ is. That's just age dependent, which is fair enough. But he's also got a little bit more versatility to his offense. And we saw in a couple of the preseason games his ability to drive to the basket and the defenses would collapse around that. And then he's also got the ability to pass out to an open shooter in the corner, whether it be Tyler, Kyle Lowry, Duncan, Max, whoever it's going to be. So I think he adds another little flavour on top of what we had with PJ last year. Obviously, the three-point shooting that PJ showed in the first half of the season last year, I'm not expecting Caleb to be leading the league in that, but he's good. He's a very reliable three-point shooter. And I think as the season develops, he will come into that role more and more and more. But, of the 5 starters, assuming that it is going to be Lowry, Hero, Butler, Martin, and Adebayo, Caleb is probably going to be the one to get the least minutes of that group, but I think could be one of the more important roles in basically being the glue that holds the rest of the group together.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the fact that we went all through the offseason moaning about the lack of starting caliber power forward in this lineup, we've actually got a hell of a lot of guys who can do a good job there. And Caleb Martin is probably the epiphany of that. But even if he's ever out, you can plug Max Strus in there. You could even do a bit with Jimmy. You've got Nikola Jovic now, who's shown real promise. There's guys throughout this. The depth of this roster, Highsmith as well. He's the guy that's going to get real minutes. We're excited about them. So yeah, it's something that I still think that come trade deadline we will look to address. But certainly in the meantime, in the regular season, I think Spoelstra will really look to experiment in that role, and it doesn't give me any concern whatsoever. Sam, just coming back to the Bulls with DeMar DeRozan in, as I said, we know they've got a few guys missing tonight, but DeMar is always going to give you a threat. Who do you expect to predominantly guard him to start tonight? Do you think Jimmy will be on him? Do you think that the idea to try and make life hard for him on that mid-range where he's so elite, do you expect Jimmy on him?
I do expect Jimmy on him, especially as we're starting out the game. I think, especially if he gets hot early on, we might be behind quite a bit. Having Jimmy on him at the start, I really think that he can keep him quiet the whole game, but I expect to see a lot of switches as well. Bam's going to be guarding DeMar a lot. With Levine out, the attention is going to be focused on DeMar. He's going to have a tough night. I don't expect him to have an amazing game because we've got one of the best defenses in the league and it's going to be all focused on him. I think Jimmy will start off guarding him for sure. I think we see Caleb guard him. I think we see Bam on switches guard him off the bench. And we've got plenty of guys who can give any player in the league a lot of trouble, and especially DeRozan, where he's amazing, obviously, but he's quite one-dimensional offensively. I reckon that we can keep him and he'll have a quiet night.
Yeah, I think that that's the beauty of this team. It's so switchable. We've got so many guys that we can throw on them. But yeah, predominantly I believe it will be Jimmy, but Bam will be able to make his life hard as well. And talking about Bam, James, he started last season, absolutely on the fastest track we've ever seen him. He came out the blocks firing. His mid-range was there. He was dominant in both ends. Then the injury came. Then the bit of confidence was lost at that mid-range. But we've seen what he has been saying in the off-season, in media day, etc., is that he wants to get up more shots. He wants to be more aggressive in post-up situations, etc. And before we worry about three-point shots, which Heat Twitter seems to be obsessed about, this is what we want to see, right? We want to see Bam taking initiative, showing his potential, because when he's on his game, I'm sorry, but there's not many centers in this league that are better than him.
Yeah, he has a height disadvantage as a centre. He's one of those players like Bobby Portis at Milwaukee. He's slightly too small for a centre, but too big for a 4. So it kind of works to his advantage when he's got the right team around him, which with the likes of PJ last year, he had it. This year, we're hoping Caleb can fill that role. But yeah, I think Bam this season, I'm not expecting the 3. I think we'll start to see, just like pre-season, we might see 1 shot a game. I think that will be his limit. But I think if he can extend his mid-range slightly out a bit, and if he just gets more aggressive towards the hoop and puts up 15 to 18 shots a game, then he's going to be averaging. We know he's going to be averaging 10 rebounds a game, and if he can be averaging over 20 points a game, then I think that's what we expect from him. It's just to continue being aggressive towards the rim.
Yeah, I think with the 3-point thing is something we want to see. We do want to see it because it adds a new aspect to his game. It's a new dynamic for him. So I think that we will start to see it. I think we'll see him maybe take 2 or 3 attempts at the game. But as you say, I think that the issue is that we don't want to be here as fans quarter of the way through the season moaning that Bam's not being aggressive enough. And I think that he knows that. He's going to be more off. We know what he can do defensively. It's ridiculous. But I think he knows that offensively is where he's got to start showing his worth. And I think that we're going to see it this year. And that will put Heat in a whole new dimension because that's the missing piece really for this roster, I believe. So we'll see what happens to Bam. It's an exciting start to the season, guys. We will get some season predictions and also tonight's prediction, as we always do. So I want you to tell me, first of all, what you think the Heat's season record will be. And then tonight, who's going to win and by how many. Ollie Rahimi, you're the pro at this. You're the seasoned vet. get started, man.
I actually tweeted out this to see what predictions people had, but mine is a record of 50 and 32, so a little bit less than last year. I think that we're going to make another deep playoffs run, Eastern Conference Finals, hopefully more. I think on a personal level, Tyler All-Star, Jimmy All-Star, Bam maybe All-Star, Bam top 3 Defensive Player of the Year. Please God, he deserves to at least be in the top 3. He should have won it before. He should win it this year, but at least get him in the top 3. Get some media attention on that man. And then tonight, I'm confident. I think we started the season well last year. We've looked really good in preseason. The Bulls are short-handed. We are a little bit as well, but I think Tyler's going to have himself a big night. Prove that he belongs in the starting lineup. Show us that the future of this team is Tyler Hero, Bam Adebayo, and then in a couple of years' time, Nikola Jovic as well. So I think Heat by 13 or 14 and a nice comfortable win. Make it 3-6 with Mr. Healy in the building.
Love it, mate. Love it. Very confident predictions all round there. Love that. Sam, what are you thinking, buddy?
I'm going to be a little less optimistic. I'm going to say about 47 wins. I still think we'll be a high seed in the East. And, I think we are built for the playoffs. I can see a conference finals run, maybe better. I think it all depends on the health of the other teams in the East, especially Philly. If Harden and Embiid are fully healthy and at their best, then I can't see many teams beating them. Bam, I legitimately think he can make an all-NBA team. He's that good. And if he can put all the pieces together with his offensive game, his mid-range shot, I don't think anyone will argue that he's one of the best centers in the league. For tonight, I'm also expecting kind of Bam to have a really good game. It's a good matchup for him, offensively and defensively. I think he'll probably lead the team in points. And I'm going for a Heat win by about 15. I think we're by far the better team.
Love it, mate. Love it. It's excellent again. And just getting back to Bam, I mean, look, we always say like what we want to happen or we riot. I think if it doesn't happen this year, if we don't get him at least in that top 3 of the Defensive Player of the Year, I think we actually will riot. I think it's that mad. But let's see. It will happen. I'm sure he can't just keep getting ignored. James, what are you feeling about the season and tonight, my friend?
I'm thinking similar to Sam, but not on a less optimistic note. I just think the East is going to be so much closer this season that I think 47, 48 wins will be our limit. But I can't see many teams hitting 50 wins this season because so many teams in the East have just got better that I think we'll all be beating each other all season backwards and forwards. So 47, 48, I think will be an optimistic top 3 finish. We're going to win it all. Simple as that. We're going to win it all. We're going to meet Steph in the finals and we're going to beat him and we're going to win it all. Bam All NBA, Bam Defensive Player of the Year, Tyler All-Star, Jimmy All-Star, Depot 6 Man of the Year, Spo Coach of the Year, and a win tonight by 10 points.
An absolute clean sweep from the Miami Heat sweepstakes there. Love that. Absolutely love that. Look, I think it'll be a 51 and 31 season. I think that you are absolutely right, James. I think that everybody is going to be beating everybody. I think that record will be good enough for a 3rd or 2nd seed. But look, we said this last year. We said 4th, 5th Miami. I think that's probably fair. I think a lot of the media, a lot of the neutrals will probably say Miami Heat are a 4th or 5th seed. But look what happened. We went to the 1 seed. Do you know why? Because as always, the Miami Heat are a damn hard team to beat. Even when we was all beaten up in the Eastern Conference Finals, it still came down to 1 shot. So I'm predicting a strong off-season, another run to the finals. We're all behind the Heat this year. We're excited. A lot of people were downbeat about the off-season. There's a lot of people in this roster that have got their point to prove this year. Tyler Hero, Kyle Lowry, Caleb Martin, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. They're all going to prove it. So it's a really, really exciting time. Tonight, I'm still a little bit concerned that I'm in the building, but I'm going to say, and I'm going to be confident, I'm going to say Heat by 8. So the least optimistic around you, but comfortable work. I think we'll get it over the line. Back to hearing Pep Pass. That would be fantastic. Guys, we will do as much as we can for Heat content tonight. I've got my contacts sort of trying to sort things out for me. They've got a lot more important things tonight to be worrying about than what's happening with at the Miami Heat UK. So I'm not putting any pressure on them. If I can get something sorted, then I will do what I can. If I can get on the floor, if I can get anything like that, then great stuff. But if not, I'll try and do something later on in the week. But I will try and put as much your way as possible. But let's enjoy the game. Miami Heat against the Chicago Bulls tonight. We'll be back on Friday for the next game against the Boston Celtics for Game Day from the UK. I'll still be out here. I'm here for the first 3 games. But enjoy the game tonight, guys, and let's go Heat!